Alright, tractor update. This is the main reason I wanted this. Be able to use 3-point hitch attachments on it. My plan is to palletize all of my projects that I got going on, because my barn for storage, if you can see that house right there, it is like 200 feet that way from it. So it's a nice little hike, and some of this stuff is heavy. I mean, like this one right here, you know, the cedar's not that heavy. But the tractor weights and the tires, you throw them in there, they get a little chunky. Let's see. I've started it with the new starter probably 10 times, and it's done perfect. I went with the gear reduction from DB Electronics off Amazon. Next day shipping on it, free of course. It's like $100. So I'm hoping that is the problem. Like I say, I've had 0 cranking issues since I put that on. So I'm assuming it was just a bad Kubota starter out of the box, would be my guess. Like I say, this thing might only have like 100 starts on it. I need to find out where my buddy got it and see if there's any warranty on it. You can't really tell, but it's definitely leaking some goo. Yeah, so whatever has caused it to leak the innards. But last time I got to use this once before and had a problem with the front tires coming off the ground. The 300 pounds I put up here did great. It held everything no problem. I need to mess with those brackets a little bit, because I think it's actually tilted down a little bit. Might be pivoting on the bolt holes a smidge. I've got a size smaller bolt in there because I actually misdrilled them. Had a drill bit issue going on with that. I've got a new rectifier. The Kubota one is here. That's the only one I've got there, and I just don't think it's charging like it's supposed to. So I need to figure out the wiring on the Kubota version, get that fired up, and see if I can get the charge. Because I would think they would charge more than 12.5. I mean, I would think. But I have to run an electric fan with this all the time while I'm driving it. And the battery hasn't died yet, and I've been piddle farting around with it all day. Still waiting on an inline coolant filter, or coolant fill, where my coolant hose goes across the top. I'm not going to pop the hood because the stack's hot. But I've got to put that in and fix the elbow that's leaking. I'll do all that so I don't have to drain the coolant once. That stuff should be here by the 5th, I think is what that, I guess it came from the slow boat. I've been waiting forever on that. Putting this turnout on this stack has helped noise. It's still loud, but not nearly as loud as it was. Pretty happy with that. I don't know if I like the look of a muffler on there. I might see what I can find, if I can find maybe a compact one. You know, I want the thing somewhat enjoyable when I drive it. I mean, you know, who doesn't? And I do work this for, you know, hours at a time. The shed I tried to move in the last video, it's gone to hell. I need to get all these railroad ties straightened up because I'm doing a 60-foot garden bed here. And like those right there, it's hard to drag them, but I bet I can move them with that. So I'm like super excited about that. I've not had a way. Those have been floating around here for years because I haven't had a way to move them. I still need to swap the tires. I've got another one of those tires on the mower. So I'll have a mismatched pair on the mower, and I'll have matching Carlisle, the True Powers on this. I think the only major other thing I've got is the input shaft is still leaking on the hydro. I've noticed maybe a little bit of vibration in the drive shaft, not much. So I don't know if I tore something, but you got to pull the motor to pull that shaft to get all that done. Actually, I don't on this. I bet you I can unhook that rubber coupling and just drop the shaft. That doesn't matter. Anyway, so I got to fix that, but I'll wait until I pull it apart for paint before I do that, because even though it's leaking, it's not horrible. It just leaves little drips everywhere. You know, I was thinking about paint on this. Do I want to paint it John Deere green, or do I want to do something different? You know, whatever that Kubota blue is, maybe paint the whole tractor in Kubota blue. N2 Tractors on Weekend Freedom Machine had a good point, maybe doing like an orange pinstripe. I don't know, paint it all John Deere green, John Deere decals. Maybe do an orange racing stripe down the side, or a decal. Maybe a Kubota power thing on the nose. I don't know. One thing I've noticed with using this, though, is the hydro response is incredibly better with this versus the Onan or versus the Honda in that one. I mean, you just got to nudge it just a little bit for it to take off. So, I guess next up on the list is wait on the rest of the parts so I can truly try to finish this thing. Then I can really start to use it. You know, the true test, if it sits for a couple days, will it start? That's the deal with this. I've still got to do the electrical. I know a lot's done, but a lot's not. I got to get the glow plugs hooked up and some sort of either warnings, you know, sensors or temp gauges or something, at least for the water. I think the oil pressure was just a light, so I need to look at that a little bit. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with the hole in that dash. I wanted to put the Kubota meter in here, but it's way too tall, and I'm not too fond of having to trim the factory dash on it. You know, so far I've done pretty good at keeping it factory. Obviously, the throttle and the hydro is the same. I did put the fan switch where the PTO switch goes, and I got the kill lever, and of course the ignition key down there. 3-point hitch is working out good. It would work out better if my balls weren't so tight in the socket. I've sprayed them down. I guess with time they'll work themselves free. Like I say, I absolutely love this. Next thing I'm going to build is some sort of hitch adapter to try to move the trailer. I'd like to be able to move that scrap trailer around without having to back up to it. It's kind of a pain backing up the stuff in my truck by yourself because that box is a 8-foot wide box. It sits about 8 inches taller, so you lose your view out the back and you can't see crap behind it. With it being wider than that trailer, it's hard to do anything with. But all in all, like I say, I just wanted to do just a quick little update. We hope that the starting issue is fixed. I really do. Not bad. Well, you guys be good. Thanks for watching. We will catch you guys next time.